So according to the NFL media, trade talks for Deshaun Watson are starting to heat up. While Houston may deny it, people are now starting to put together their own personal trade offers for Deshaun Watson, and there's one in particular that I want to talk about. You're listening to Money in the Bank. So host of Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager, had this trade proposal for Deshaun Watson. It includes Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns, Teddy Bridgewater, our 2021 first round pick, and our 2022 first round pick. And let's just get to the meat of this conversation here. Y'all boys is not touching my boy Brian. I don't know what y'all don't understand about that. I don't care what the hell they want. And I know they just released J.J. Watt and they're looking for defensive help. You's not getting that over here, my boy. You're not getting that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, man, our young defensive core is off limits. I know, it's being talked about now, the Panthers are willing to do anything. They're really all in on making this deal happen. And here's my thing, and I'll say this. And I know as many fans, I know we want Deshaun Watson to be here, but I think a lot of us are sensible in the fact that we know that Jeremy Chin, untouchable. Brian Burns, untouchable. Derrick Brown, untouchable. We've seen production out of all three of these young cats. Why in God's name would we give that up for the side of the ball that we're just not starting to see progress for? You know what I'm saying? Coming into this year, I don't think any of us thought we would have seen this much progress on our defense in year one from Phil Snow. I know I did. And I had to give Phil Snow credit because I gave Phil Snow a lot of flack for the entire year. Well, coming into the year and for probably the first 8 games, I gave him a lot of hell. And it was because I didn't think he was going to progress this defense and make this defense any better. Now he still has some things that I want him to fix as far as play calling, but the talent grew. Jeremy Chin grew. Derrick Brown had a very solid year, being really the lone anchor in the interior of that defense. And Brian Burns, man, he's like a millisecond away from having probably 15 sacks. So I keep looking at those 3 guys. I'm like, those guys are untouchable. Now, let's talk about the guys I would be willing to part with. We can start with Robbie Anderson. I never thought that Robbie Anderson would be included in a trade package for Deshaun Watson. I didn't really see the need. I don't know what Houston what would be the need to have him, honestly. I don't think he does anything. He doesn't really add much value if there's no quarterback there. Teddy Bridgewater. I think Houston has to understand this. Houston got to understand that they're going to have to take whoever's starting quarterback. Whatever team they trade with, you're probably taking the starting quarterback just to be able to help get that money off the books. So you can't, if I'm a team, I can't go in with, unless I have to find a trade partner for my current starting quarterback. And that's, for the Jets, the Jets probably have the best option as far as current quarterbacks they can trade. Because if I had to pick out a Tua Tagovailoa, Sam Darnold, and Teddy Bridgewater, I would take Sam Darnold in a second. And I think a lot of people forget that Sam Darnold can't. He's just been in a very, very bad situation in New York. And I think nobody would be good in that situation. Robbie Anderson was his best weapon, but there was nothing else other than Robbie Anderson there. They have inept offensive lines, inept defenses, inept coaching staffs. They've not given this kid the chance to be great. They're not giving this kid a chance to be, decent. I think if you took him and put him in Baker's position, he would flourish. I think Baker's in a position that many quarterbacks could flourish in with all of that plethora of talent. No knock against Baker, he's doing his thing now, but I don't think that's a product of just him alone. I think that's a product of the talent around him. I think if Sam Darnold had that same opportunity, he would be great. I personally like Sam Darnold in Carolina if there was a way to get that deal done. But that's just me. Now, yes, Teddy Bridgewater would have to go unless you can find a trade partner for him. Now, Christian McCaffrey. I've been ready to move on with Christian McCaffrey for quite some time, and I have previous Money in the Banks about this. I've let people know plenty of times that there's no such thing as a franchise running back. I've heard that statement, franchise running back. Somebody told me that we shouldn't trade away our franchise running back. But don't nobody give a flying running back, my boy. Who are you talking about? What are we? I swear for God, y'all, don't talk to me about no more running backs, no more. And this is why I say this. This is not the 80s. You don't win with running backs being your best player in your offense. When I heard the excuse this season that, yeah, but Joe Brady didn't have his starting running back. My boy, if your offense is built off the basis of your running back being your best player, you're already in deep. You're already cooked. You're baked, my boy. It's over with. You can't win that way. It's not a sustainable way of winning. You have to have good quarterback play. You can't get off the line play, of course, but those two have to go hand in hand. Running backs, we saw this past season. You can replace that production with more guys for less money. So I don't really understand that. I'm more than willing to get rid of Christian McCaffrey. All in all, that's the final point there. So all in all, how do I feel about that proposal? It is probably the worst I've seen so far. And I say this because what guy on that deal, if I just say you can't get Brian Burns, if I just take Brian Burns out, what guy on that deal adds value to your team? It's only Christian McCaffrey. So there's no value being added to that. There's not going to be any real value added to your team aside from Christian McCaffrey. You're honestly just trading away all other pieces to match the money. Brian Burns, and if I say what Brian Burns at that point, if Brian Burns is in the deal, that's a great deal for Houston. Carolina, they set you back another 3 to 4 years. You have to figure out the defense all over again. It's hard to win. It's hard to win this league without pass rushers, man. And I couldn't see you doing it. But you guys have been listening to Money in the Bank. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Panthers Nation Podcast YouTube channel. Be sure to follow us at P1N_network on Instagram and Twitter. And